lot of talk in the chat, obviously, concerning what happened today. The big announcement confirmed USC, UCLA to the Big Ten. I would have told you up until a couple hours ago that the biggest movement in the history of college football, is what the SEC pulled off last year with Oklahoma and Texas. Not that USC and UCLA are bigger brands or better programs or anything combined compared to Texas and Oklahoma, but the reason I think this is more substantial is, number one, the Big Ten and the Pac-12 have been partners, and that's ripped apart. This is ripping apart probably the Rose Bowl. There's probably no longer a Big Ten Pac-12 Rose Bowl anymore. That's done. There's no way the Pac-12 can service that type of elite, top end teams for it to be the Rose Bowl anymore. A lot of, and because of now rumors that this could affect Oregon, Washington, other teams leaving the Pac-12, going to, like, this may not be over. So if this calms down and this is the end of it, which I don't think so, I don't think it is, but if it is the end of it, then the SEC and the Big Ten are way out in front of everybody else. If it continues, then we could be down the road of the SEC and the Big Ten just step for step, counter punch, bam, 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 just scarfing up teams. So you, as a Miami fan, do you want to see the ACC bulk up, go out, get whoever they need to get, whether that's West Virginia, whether that's whoever, and make some moves? Or if the SEC is going to keep this thing going and counter the Big Ten, do you have any issue with the Miami Hurricanes playing in the SEC?
It's been one of the things I've wanted for a while. But yeah, wow, that is breaking news on MarkRogersTV Miami. It's official. Just their entrance to the Big Ten was just accepted. Wow. I don't know how to feel about that. It doesn't feel right. It just doesn't sit right.
USC's in the Big Ten. Yes. USC and UCLA are in the Big Ten.
That doesn't sound like Big Ten football, but Mark, I try not to speak when I don't have enough evidence to back up how I feel. But man, in all honesty, I think this is in response to what happened in 2020 when it came to the Pac-12, when they were not for football. They did not try to work to get football played. Similar, I mean, the Big Ten did the same thing, did it not? To the point where Ohio State had to go out and basically be the forefront. Like, no, this is happening. We're doing this. Get in line.
Yeah, what was interesting about that is I just think everybody's cards were on the table, and we got a real good read into these conferences during the pandemic. And the read was that the SEC said they didn't ignore the pandemic. They said, we're going to get all our guidelines in place, our health. We're going to figure out every best precaution to go through, but we're playing football. So we're going to do both. We're going to do first-class health care and guidelines and protection, and we're going to do all that, but we're playing football. And the ACC kind of jumped in right alongside them. The Big 12 took kind of a few weeks, and then they were right there with them too. Then they did it. The Pac-12 was on the other end of the spectrum, where they were just like, we're not playing football. And there just wasn't a mindset to play football. And then they started playing really late in the season. The Big 10, I thought, was the most interesting because it really showed the struggle, the conflict within that conference, because the academic, the elite, the academic, the administrators running these universities, they were with the Pac-12. But the Midwest is football country. And the coaches, the players, the fans went to the Big Ten headquarters. They rallied, they took petitions, they campaigned, they, made every possible statement to say, we're playing football, and they won.
I made my tweet, and I stand by my tweet. USC is serious about football now, and the Pac-12 has shown that they are not. Now, them joining the Big 12 to me would have made a lot more sense. Hey, join the Big 12. You're in Southern California. Kind of like it would be a little easier to go right down there, and they need a little bit of a boost losing Texas and OU. It would be perfect for you to transition right into Big 12. They care about football too. Obviously, again, I know California plays great football, but that area of the country,
They're going to make a lot more money playing in the Big Ten.
oh, yeah, true. So are we just going to be like a 3-team powerhouse? Because now it's like, so should the ACC just like join the SEC and we just become like the Southern Coastal Conference, SAC, SCC, Southern Coastal Conference, and then have the Big Western Conference and the Big 12, I guess. the Big 18, and they just
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about when that text came through earlier, and I was just like, oh, okay, that might be a rumor, just like the rumor was that Clemson and Tallahassee were on the list of teams that the SEC wanted to add, okay, to the SEC. I mean, I don't know if I would want Miami to join the Big Ten. Academically, it would be a perfect fit, but I just don't. I don't care about travel, but there are some fans who use that as a big excuse for the whole travel. Man, we got great planes. Just make sure if we're going to travel that far, stretch them out a little bit. If we feel as though the ACC isn't serious and we don't think that they're going to get a big boost, sure. I mean, I wouldn't mind having Ohio State and playing Michigan and playing at the big house, and playing Michigan State and playing USC. I wouldn't mind it. It would take some getting used to, and we'll always worry like, oh, well, this feels weird. I mean, even you as a Big Ten guy, I don't know if Coral Gables, Florida screams Big Ten ball.
No,
I mean,
it would be weird. But man, you talk about some matchups, boy.
Miami, Michigan State, Miami, Nebraska. That rivalry would come back. Miami playing Northwestern. That'd be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind playing Northwestern.
Now, I know we're football all the time, and anytime anyone brings up other sports, I shoot them down and say, we just talk about football. That's all we care about. But in just one thought about the rest of these student athletes, if these conferences really come together like this, it's different than football for these other sports. You know, baseball players are playing 45 or 50 games. The Big Ten now goes from LA to New York City. They're not traveling out there for one game. They're like, if you play for USC, you play baseball for USC, you're going to Maryland, you're going to Rutgers to New Jersey, you're going to Penn State, you're going to, and it's not like when with Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC, you can say, okay, we got 16 teams. Now you can divide it into pods and you can stay in your little geographic region and you can just be Arkansas, LSU, Texas A&M or whatever. And and then you occasionally have to jump over to South Carolina to play a game. The Big Ten, USC and UCLA, they're on an island. They got it. Everybody they play, they got to all the way across the country.
I mean, could you imagine being Rutgers, having to travel that far to get your ass whooped? I mean, we're all a little angry here, but we got to go to play Lincoln Riley's USC. Again, Mark, it's the way it's going. I think the only way to fix this is we have to get a college football commission. Because if we do not, what's happening right now, as far as the big money grab, jumping in, we need somebody to walk in and say, hell to the no. This is not happening. This ain't happening. You going over here, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna come to a conclusion, and we're gonna we're going to figure this damn thing out because this is not it.
Well,
This
yeah,
this
and
is
that's
not
you
it.
just hit on the complete bottom line of all this. The complete bottom line of all of this. And if anybody's interested in more talk about this kind of stuff, we went on for like 3 hours today. We had over 800 people online. We were on for over 3 hours. I had some great guests. Folks, check out the live stream. I posted it on the USC channel and every Big Ten channel and on the main channel. So check it out. And that's the bottom line to me. That was my bottom line answer to anyone who said, why is this going on? And this is crazy. And is this good for college football? Or they would say, is this good? And I'd say, well, it depends on your perspective. Is it good for the Big Ten? Yes. Is it good for USC? Yes. We keep forgetting UCLA. Yes, because they're going to make more money. Is this good for college football? In my estimation, no, it's not good for college football. But the problem is exactly what you're saying. It's not the NFL. In the NFL, you got a commissioner, you got owners that look out for the whole sport. They don't look out just for themselves. They figure out what's best for the whole sport. We don't have that in college football. Everybody looks out for themselves. That's why you have teams jumping all over the place, grabbing money or getting booted from conferences or whatever.